For what? Because we were useless? No, this is a valid question that we need to ask ourselves. I have another representative who loves calling himself a salesman selling juta. But of course, we forget the importance of juta in the history of civilization. And I've got another individual whose company has grown over the years to the extent that a minute ago I was listening to Naseem sitting next to me, that we have to think in terms of which particular area you're not into. And these are the individuals that are representing us today. So thank you very much for being with us. And I'm sure you'll be enlightening all of us with your knowledge, and also share your thoughts in terms of how Bangladesh can perform better. But before we move into that, Naseem, you're sitting next to me, I'll ask you a question. What is your perception of this country called Bangladesh? Because I think that until unless we set that particular, we know where we are, the foundation, there's no use discussing Bangladesh.
Thank you, sir. Thank you to Brand Forum for inviting me to this panel today. It's a privilege to be seated here with such distinguished fellow panelists and in the presence, of course, Professor Farhat Anwar in front of this amazing audience. The question is that what is my perception of Bangladesh? I think my perception of Bangladesh is a country that has an unbelievable can-do spirit. I think if I had to think of a tagline for Bangladesh, that would be my tagline. That this is the country where we make it happen, where you can do it. I was listening to the story of Sharif and Jack Trout, and once again I'm delighted that these so-called pundits, many of them that come from the so-called developed north, get it completely wrong. I think Bangladesh is a great example of listening to a lot of people but then finding our own way. It may be chaotic, it may be a little confusing, it's certainly quite stressful, but it gets us to where we want to go. For sure, the aspirations are much higher as they should be. But for me, sir, if I had to summarize it, it's a country which has proven the naysayers wrong and continues to confound many people. But it's also a country which, as one US ambassador who had served here had said to me, it's a country that has hustle. And I don't mean that in a negative sense, it's a positive sense. My friend Sunny has been to many more countries than I have been to a few. And I can tell you, the ones that I've been to, you don't see this energy on the streets, in the villages and in the towns and in the districts. Nobody's sitting still. Nobody's waiting for a handout because there are no handouts. Everybody is trying to get ahead. Sometimes in a great way, sometimes in a not so great way. But that's a certain spirit. It's an entrepreneurial country by birth, by nature. And I think to the point that today the narrative that Professor Farhat Anwar shared with us, I think the fact that we are sitting here today as proud Bangladeshi corporates, as major multinational bank operating in Bangladesh for more than 100 years, I'm proud to represent a Chamber of Commerce that has been around for more than 110 years. This country has a tradition of making things. And if I had to brand it, I would say build it in Bangladesh. And that would be my tagline for Bangladesh, that this is a country that builds things. And we have proven time and time again that this is the destination. If ever there was a time, I think the time is now. Thank you, sir.
Excellent. I mean, excellent. This is exactly what we, all of us, must understand. And again, we have this, as I was saying, his father actually started the business. And if I remember very clearly, it was called Rangpur Foundry, is something which I even visited then to see what he was doing. Imagine the point that Naseem was mentioning, entrepreneurial ability. Today, his company, as we were saying, actually has become a global player, not just a local player, is a global player. Picking up from where Naseem was saying, could you tell me in terms of, do you really believe that this entrepreneurial ability is something embedded in us, in our DNA, or is something which is just by chance?
Thank you, sir. Before I start, thanks to Band Forum. I think it's a great dialogue that has started. How do we go about developing a brand for Bangladesh? I think it's a great initiative and we are talking about it. I think what makes Bangladesh very unique is Bangladesh itself. You know, the odds of Bangladesh makes Bangladesh extremely unique. I think it's the necessity of surviving in Bangladesh probably really pushes us so hard that we become the best entrepreneurs in the world. I feel that, like I do a lot of business with retailers all over the world. And I feel that if you look at the life of a retailer or look at the life of a small business person in the rural area of this country, I feel that overall situation of Bangladesh is so tough that it is the spirit to survive that makes Bangladesh extremely unique. And I feel that we the corporate sector of the country, take lesson from small entrepreneur in the small rural part of the country, and it's the same people. Like I said, only the time has changed, the roles have become different, some people have become from small to big, but I think the basic instinct of survival, that there is nothing that can save Bangladesh, it's only the Bangladeshis itself that can really push us to go forward. We don't have any natural resource, we don't have any thing that we can sell for ourselves, it's only us. It's the people, it's the spirit of the people and the strength of the people and the hardworking nature of the people that really takes Bangladesh forward and that really makes us very successful.
People, such an important point that has been made, and we, time and again, every single day I hear that our people are the worst in the world. And here we're listening to a different story altogether. That how people have kept this country alive and we're moving forward. But let's look at from a multinational perspective. And they've been here for more than 100 years, as we said. And we know that time and again, people do come up and talk about the multinationals do come up and say that we've not been handling them the way we should. This is a story that we hear day in and day out. So let's listen from you. I say, what is your sort of an opinion? What have we done right? And what do you think Bangladesh should be applauded for?
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Firstly, I think Bangladesh has a story which is grossly undersold in the world. As you mentioned that as I represent multinational bank which has been in this market for more than 100 years, to be precise 116 years. In our group, we believe that this is actually, Bangladesh is a best kept secret in Asia, a potential which is waiting to be unlocked. Now, why am I saying this? One of the reasons that, some of the explanation of why the country has grown the way it has grown is still a mystery for many outside the country. So from that perspective, I can share our experience as a bank back in 2000 when there are concerns on the future growth potential based on multi-fiber agreement being phasing out and all those. Many in the financial sector, foreign investors were thinking of an exit route, and so was in the banking sector. We've seen banks like ANZ Greenleaf pulling out of the market, banks like American Express pulling out of the market. But we, as a bank, thought that the potential was actually significant and we stuck to it. And we acquired both the entities and we saw how it paid off for the country, for the bank to be very precise. So I think the potential, it's always about glass half full or glass half empty. We always saw the potential is significantly more than what we have seen so far.
So this is well said. I mean, potential is even more than what they've seen so far. So that is what the future is being portrayed by a banker, a multinational banker, of course. Again, going back to our large entrepreneur, because I would like to go back to you. The reason is very simple. We were talking about 2041, we were talking about even 21. And of course, as far as the government is concerned, the government has quite clearly outlined the path or the dream that all of us should seek. How should we, what changes should we actually bring into our businesses or mindset to be able to achieve this huge sort of goal that has been set by the government?
I think first is belief, that we need to start believing that it is possible. That middle income country, top 25 economy in the world, I feel that, if one aims high, I think then everything becomes very much possible. So I feel that once Bangladesh starts believing that it's possible to take the country forward, and if we can start making a business plan that this is how we feel we can do it, this is how we want to bring in changes in our manufacturing base. If Germany can be the #1 exporter in the world, why can Bangladesh not be one? If Netherlands can be the largest agriculture exporter in the world, why Bangladesh can't be one? So I think once we start believing it, and once everybody starts believing it, I think it will be much easier for start replicating it everywhere. Like say the footwear industry, Nasim Bhai will lead, I'm sure. Garments industry, some people will lead. I see our friends from BRAC sitting there, so I'm sure BRAC will be our leading NGO for the world. I feel that many, and of course a number of professionals sitting in this room, I feel that we professionals will start leading the world, and we have to keep on challenging ourselves. That we have to say that we Bangladeshi professionals have to be the best professional in the world. If Indians can start leading all the big multinationals in the world, Bangladeshis can also do this. And once we start challenging ourselves, that it is not acceptable to perform at a very low level, we have to perform at a higher level, I think the speed of the country will start accelerating, and I think it will not be only a political desire that we want to be a middle income country, it will become a desire for the nation, that we'll start imagining ourselves to be not at the bottom but start at the top. That's how we're going to change.
Yeah, but every single day in the media comes up and tells us we can do absolutely nothing. I mean, that is what I hear. How do you actually answer to that? Nasim wants to answer to that. Yeah.
No, I think you're right. I mean, we are also involved in media, so I'll try and answer that. I think bad news sells, and we know that. But I think to pick up where Bijoy said, Bangladesh has a great product, and with deepest respect, sir, the lousiest marketing. And we have neighbors who have a lousy product and tremendous marketing. And I think this is where we need to fix this. I'm going to tell you 3 quick anecdotes. I've been working here in Bangladesh for 31 years. So obviously, I'm as old as I look. And the point is, there are 3 amazing stories that I think, again, stories that we don't tell. One, a young lady that I started work with